Let's circle back a little bit and get into this again. How did you get into psychotherapy? Because I feel like there is definitely a deep connection with your spiritual quest to wanting to then help perhaps others.
Yeah. I didn't, in Romania, we didn't have psychotherapy. And I didn't know. I saw on TV and I thought that's bullshit, basically. I thought as a spiritual aspirant, I thought psychotherapy is bullshit for a long time. And at some point in my 30s, after I'd been disillusioned by a certain spiritual group that turned out to be not as pure and helpful as I thought, I kind of left that spiritual community. And I was more like distrustful of gurus and spiritual authorities and stuff. So I found this men's organization called Mankind Project. I recommend to any man. It's worldwide, but a lot in America, where it was some kind of founded like 30 years ago by four people, like a poetry professor, a psychotherapist, and a marine major or something. And they put together a training in the 70s, 80s, where like some kind of empowerment, some type of awakening of the man, some men's work, not necessarily about Buddha nature and enlightenment, but more like facing the shadows and inner child work and integrity, accountability, a sense of mission and purpose, Robert Bly kind of stuff. So I went to circles like that after having been in enlightenment teachings for a long time. And initially, I was feeling spiritually superior because they were not pursuing enlightenment and stuff, or this self-remembering presence. But what I was impressed and touched about their high level of realness, authenticity, and getting into feelings and expressing them. And also, they had certain technology where somebody was more charged or suffering or had some trigger, they will work with each other. And they were not therapists. They would work with each other and go deeper and process it and uncover more things. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, it's wonderful. I like that. Something really. So I went then more and more different trainings, different things. And I started to embark on the path to become such a more skilled facilitator. I still didn't think much of therapy at all. So that was the beginning. Then I started to go into this Mankind project. They start to do the same work in maximum security prisons. So I was lucky enough to get there, which was very transformative and heart touching. And then as I was doing that, I had this thing to find a psychotherapeutical modality that resonates with my spiritual understanding. I don't know how I ended up to have this, but I want to study more. I want to study more so I discovered this Hakomi, awareness-based somatic psychotherapy, which I discovered it, and I was like, oh yeah, I could see it was based on this awareness, fourth way Buddhist Taoist principles, and was getting into the wounds. Basically, it was processing wounds, limiting beliefs, traumas from a perspective. It's not just from the mind. So I went into that and I liked it. I still didn't think much of a therapist. So after doing 4 years of that, I was having all kind of jobs I didn't like. At some point, I couldn't deal with it. So I got the entry job in mental health as a mental health worker dealing with very severely wounded, aggressive teenagers in a facility, and which was really low paid and really dangerous in some way. But I loved it. I just loved it. And I could sit there, oh, therapist, huh? What's that? Anyway, long story short, I was like, hey, maybe I should become a therapist. So, because I already felt like I knew the chops, all my spiritual understanding and all this dealing with hard, intense demons from people in the trenches. It wasn't just book psychology and this Hakomi. So I decided what is it that I need to do to enter the mental health system. So I realized it was actually not a very hard path. I already had a bachelor from when I was a kid. So I just need to do a master's. I realized that I love this and I've been loving to do this all along. So that's the best use of Mihai and what I like the most to do. And somehow there was a big gap between my heart's passion, job, career, money. This was all disconnected. And I had the rejection toward job, career, money before. I thought that this is a distraction. But anyway, when my heart's passion, my inner child's passion and interest and my talents, they align with this, actually it started to work much better. It was much less misery because I'm not going to spend hours every day doing something I don't like. I'm spending many hours every day doing something I like.